Good afternoon, intrepid adventurers, and welcome to Wreathside Chats, where we recap our highlights from last week and set the stage for the week to come. A week that saw our noble heroes beset on all sides by the Knights of Naraka also bore witness to Rog's loss of his axe, Venzana's death, like real death, and on a lighter note, Sheora got some new bling. I'll be your host on this journey, and with the conclusion of the battle for the heart of the council just on the horizon, here's all the news from the week that was. In what can best be described as another week of analysis paralysis, the story picked up with our heroes as they returned to Dragon's Point from their narrow escape with death at the former home of the lizard folk and current breeding grounds of the Sahagwan. Somewhat tired but always ready to shop, the crew took the advice of the Habakkuk cleric and secured rooms at the old Crabber's Cove, owned and operated by none other than the degenerate brother of one Scaran wave chaser. With room secured and coin to spend, the party headed out to the market. Now, you may remember a week prior, Rog, eager to try his new polearm master feat, had dropped off his great axe, Shadowbreaker, with the silversmith's wife for what can only be described as some shaft work. This week saw some stunning new details added to that story, but first let's turn to Uriel, Sharky, and Sheora, who, out looking for a good deal in the hottest dungeon fashion, paid a visit to the leather maker. Inside, Sheora found something that was both stylish and magical, and one small line of credit from Uriel later, Sheora hit the streets, looking like a new kitty on the prowl. In our second story arc of the night, Rog and Venzana returned to their rooms to get some well-deserved shut-eye. It didn't take long before they were paid a visit by an unknown visitor who tried to smoke them out, leaving a nice glyph of alarm on their door. After some quick thinking, Rog managed to stop the encroaching substance by placing his cloak, or maybe a blanket, at the bottom of the door. Rog and Venzana's quick thinking paid off, and to celebrate, they decided to sacrifice Boo to the great black bird in the sky. Or, possibly use them to alert their friends to the dangers at the inn. Learning of the dangers, the rest of the crew returned, sneaking in through the window to keep from alerting the ones who were tracking them. Lest I forget, at some point here, Rog saw the assassin who tried to kill him in the tavern, and Rog, Sharky, and Uriel headed outside to find him, coming home empty-handed. After 2 hours and much discussion, our heroes finally decided to launch a recon mission using the winged bear, Sharky, and a semi-recovered Boo. Feigning an urgent call of nature, the three set off to recon the council area, but seeing flashing lights from the middle of the city, the three made a quick diversion, where they paid witness to the death of the silversmith's wife and kids. Oh, and the demoness from the Sahagwan temple. The one that traded Uriel a kiss for the helm, exiting the scene with Shadowbreaker in hand. The expression on Rog's face when hearing of the loss of his axe, and that it was one of the 5 armaments, is alone worth the watch of the episode. Carrying on, even in the midst of such loss, the trio headed to the council, where they saw a mysterious green light emanating from a closed window and a giant demon hound. Recon complete, the trio hastened back to the tavern to tell the group all that they had seen, heading inside sans poop bag, but with an apology to the younger wave chaser. All of this brings us near to the starting point of today's adventure. As our intrepid adventurers rushed to the council chambers, well, maybe rushed is an overstatement. After several trips and a floating rock balloon, the party arrived ready to fight. In their way, 2 Knights of Naraka, a giant demon beast thing, and unbeknownst to them at the time, behind their backs, the deadly assassin. With a savagely aimed javelin, our mighty heroes engaged, vanquishing all but the assassin, who had managed to deal a savage blow to Venzana. The crew, heading inside, saw the leader of the Knights of Naraka, the paladin of Takhisis, the Lady Gestalt, who proved to be an able combatant, especially when accompanied by a pair of demons and strength-sucking shadow creatures. The heroes valiantly struggled and fell, with Venzana eventually succumbing to her wounds, and a last-ditch effort by Uriel to revivify her, falling short. Fear not, though, Dungeon Dorks, our heroes have a plan and a purpose. Now let's get to the Session 23 action.